ABS Sports this morning. My name is Telekweme Daniel, and you know how we do it. Every weekend we come on board to bring some of the happenings during the weekend. And it's a world of sports. We talk more football in these editions of ABS Sports. This morning I have Ajulu Chukwu Okawe in the studios. Ajulu, you're welcome.
Thank you, Daniel Ekweme. It's always a pleasure here to talk sport, and then, the season is already winding down,
Yes.
So we are at the tail end of it. So let's see how it pans out.
Exactly. Okay, the season is winding down, and yesterday, Everton welcomed Leicester City, and the match ended 2-2. It was, and our own person of Iwobi scored the one of the goals. Now let's X-ray Everton and Leicester. Everton and Leicester has been passing through a lot.
A lot has been happening.
Been up, they down, up and down, and Leicester City as well. They had to change their coach, as much as Everton too. Yeah. And ever since then, how would you rate the two clubs now, since there's been a change? Everton brought in Dyche, Sean Dyche, and while Leicester brought in Dean Smith. And how do you balance both of them down, the team?
Well, I think it was a wise decision for Everton to have gone for Dyche, you understand? They call him the Ginger Man Moneo, you understand? Based on what he has been able to do the 7 years plus he was at Burnley, you understand? Taking a Burnley that had little or no fund compared to the big boys in the Premier League, and they were able to sustain and remain in the Premier League for a very long time until that disastrous season where they went on relegation. Well, thank God
they are back,
you understand? So they did a wise thing, you understand, in bringing Dyche, you understand? Because this is somebody, even though Moshri, the owner of Everton, has the money to spend, you understand? But I think he's on a rebuilding process because he believes that with Sean Dyche, they have a man that can build for the future and then probably gradually transform Everton based on the resources they have into a comfortable mid-table team over the years. And that is progress as far as I know, you understand? Unlike some other teams that will want to do everything and get it done in one pitch. Now, talking about Leicester City, I don't really think that the right person was whom they appointed. You understand?
But Dean Smith has a Premiership record.
He has a Premiership record.
He worked with Brentford. He worked with Aston Villa.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is a Leicester City that within this decade has won the Premier League. So you need to give it to them that there's a pedigree in this team. They won the Premier League, they play Champions League, they play Europa League. So they should be looking for a coach in the mold that has gotten that European experience that will take them away from the
But they have nothing to contest all about.
No. But then you're talking about next season. You're talking about next season. So even though this guy will be starting fresh next season, but does he have the impetus to galvanize a team of this magnitude? You understand? And then sometimes when you think of the coaches that this club size have, it tells on the kind of players they can actually attract. You understand? Except maybe Leicester City overshot when they won the league because nobody actually gave them a chance to have won that league. Now, if you have won a league of that magnitude, you should now know that I think I now rank up with some elite of this group, you understand? So you now need to be assigning coaches and be buying players, you understand, to match that achievement of 2015 by winning the league. So in the area of Leicester City and appointment of their coach, I don't think I really support that. But apart from the only team that is wearing blue that is not suffering in the Premier League, which is Manchester City, every other team wearing blue this season in Premier League seem to be suffering from one malady or the other.
So is that a blue syndrome?
No, it's a blue syndrome blowing across EPL.
Blue syndrome disease.
Blue syndrome disease blowing across EPL. No consistency for teams wearing blue this season. Chelsea have had 4 managers. Leicester have had their own 2. Everton have had theirs, and they don't seem to be aspiring above 10th position in the league. So a whole lot has to be said. But let's wait and see. You understand? We pundits will definitely say, but the people actually doing the play and then organizing the teams have their own say too. But let's just watch and see.
Okay, so we're saying kudos to Iwobi. And you know that we have 3 players that played the match.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be over the other side of Companion, while
Iheanacho
and Ndidi was subbed off during the course of the game. He was subbed off. It shows he's not really picked up, after coming back from a
long-time injury that he has. I hope he's not going to come back to Nigerian national team and now want to rehabilitate himself, because the season,
he has to
get himself,
because a lot of players are just there,
waiting for the opportunity like this. You understand?
We have Yusuf Hassan of Belgian League, who is doing
very well. You understand?
Onyedikachi is there doing very well. We have Bonke. We have a lot of them. So he has to sit up and call himself to order and move on. All right, we are not settling for second place at Arteta.
We are not.
We are not settling for second place, and he's trying to say that it's not over till the final day, that anything could still happen. But telling us that he's not settling for second, well, it looks like an adage to us. In fact, it looks like an idiomatic expression to us. So, because a lot of Arsenal fans have lost hope because of.
The match that would have concretized losing to Man City.
Not even losing to Man City was the problem. That one was just an icing on the cake. Drawing 3 games was where
and 2 out of those 3 you were 2 goals up.
Yes, was where you lost it. That was where Arsenal lost it. But like we rightly say, all hope is not lost. Even if they don't win the EPL. At least for the past 7 years, they've not been in Champions League. Yeah. So they are back.
They are back.
So maybe that's their consolation, instead of going for the trophy.
But it's a bitter consolation, if I must say.
Yeah, that's what it's a bitter one
to have been at the top of the team
from the beginning
down to the last day in April.
That is near success syndrome.
No. It is not good enough.
In Nigerian context, they need deliverance.
To me, it's not good enough. But at the same time, the coach must always say something to galvanize his players, you understand? So coming up to say that they are not settling for second position, actually, I don't see anything wrong in that. But then, the
results have shown that you are going to settle for second. So there is no 2 ways about it.
If Man City should lose a match and Arsenal wins their remaining match, then we could be having an epic final day battle. You understand? Which is very possible.
But you can't, there is no way if they lose and Arsenal wins. That means okay.
And moreover, there's still a match to be played today. So Arsenal wins that match, automatically they go back on top. Which is
why Man City has won
one game. A game they're going to do in football, you don't count what is yet yours. You count what you have. Exactly. So
maybe that's why he's saying they are not settling for second.
They are not settling for second. So they are telling Chelsea, you understand, the perennial underachievers for this season, that young man, you guys cannot stop us from achieving a better result tonight, irrespective of where that match is going to be played.
Let's see how it goes. Chelsea, Arsenal today at Emirates Stadium. Let's see how it's going to go today. Know if Arsenal will bounce back to winning ways.
Of course, Arsenal will.
They will allow Chelsea to stand strong against them. All right, Golden Eaglets of Nigeria off to a very flying start by defeating their Zambia Chipolopolo counterpart. Nduka Bade's team, first game 1-0, but it was a hard-earned achievement. How do you see these boys? Do you see them going to quarterfinals? Let's start from there, then get to semifinals, and maybe we'll now start discussing if they are going to carry the cup.
Well, this is our forte, under 17. Africa knows.
5-time champion.
Yeah, Africa knows. Champion. Exactly. Africa knows the pedigree of Nigeria. The world knows what Nigeria can do. So if Brazil is holding sway in the senior FIFA World Cup, Nigeria is holding sway in under 17. So minimum requirement is to win this one and then go ahead by October to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
But still talking on this World Cup, you understand? Like, tell me, though they did well, played the first match, won, but there's a team that failed their MRI test and they were not part of this. That's South Sudan. Because they were disqualified based on that. So I think we should commend CAF you understand, for getting their act right at home. Because if that team had gone out and probably maybe the test was conducted at the main event, that would have been denying Africa a slot at the main event, you understand, narrowing our chances. But I want to commend CAF for doing the needful, you understand, for removing South Sudan team, because they said multiple of their players failed the MRI test. And when you
Which means they are all old men.
More likely, you understand? So these age group categories are not for you to go there and win in the first place to start with. It's a building process for you to have teams that will sustain your under 21, under 23, and the national team. So when we begin to understand this thing and begin to give room for secondary school football, you understand? That means those in the JSS in our schools will have aspiration that someday, if good enough, they might be selected to play in the under-17 trials and then make the Nigerian team and represent Nigeria in tournaments like this, be it in the African setting or even in the World Cup.
Okay.
So kudos to that. So Nigeria, Nduka Ubade, well, I'm appealing that this is our forte. This is more like our rights. We've earned it. But that doesn't mean that we won't have stiff opposition.
Definitely.
Just like the narrow 1-0 we got from the Chipolopolo. You understand? That Chipolopolo seems to be on the horizon. You understand? On the rise in African football. Across different...
They have always been a football nation.
A football nation, you understand? So they are all equally on the rise. So we should not rest our house just because we picked our first match. Let us take it to the next.
All right. This week we'll be confronting the Atlas of Morocco, the young ones, and that's our second match.
Our second match.
Yes. So if they're able to scale the hurdles of the Atlas of
Morocco.
So then we know that they are home and dry for the next cadre.
Well, Morocco is not going to be an easy one, because that is one of the countries that has impressed in the past 5 years. Exactly.
Yes.
Across board. Their female team made it to the final. You understand? At Female Nations Cup this year. You understand? And their male team, look at the exploit at the World Cup. Then in the friendlies at the International Week, they now defeated Brazil. So I would definitely expect something. Of course, a very tough match there. You understand? With this.
All right, Napoli dream to the Italian title suffer a setback on Sunday as they were held to a 1-1 draw against Salernitana. They were all jubilating when they were 1-0 up, thinking that on Sunday would have been
the crowning
as the champion of the Italian Scudetto. But unfortunately, Salernitana had other plans for them, and that was it. And our own Oshime was shedding tears because he felt, man, let's wrap it up. This is a wrap, you know. But it didn't happen. Now they have to wait till Wednesday, that's tomorrow, to make sure they defeat Udinese, and that will be
that would be the
anything short of that. They will keep waiting till the final day.
No, I cannot be waiting till the final day. No. As far as I know, of all the major leagues in Europe right now, this is the league that has been wrapped. I can't even say.
But they cannot wrap if they don't win.
No. How many points difference?
No, but how many points difference? They didn't win yesterday on Sunday.
No, there's nothing to talk about this.
No, I know. No, we are praying for them to win. So
even if they don't win, even if they lose and they win the next match, it's a wrap. You understand? So
we are still waiting.
They've done the job.
The earlier they wrap this thing up and forget about it and go home to.
They don't have any other thing to distract them because there's no Champions League football for them.
All right, well, we are wishing them well, and we believe that Napoli would carry the title.
Yeah, and Osimhen to be crowned. You understand? Not just winning the Scudetto, but the highest goal scorer.
This has been a very long years that Napoli went close to
I'm telling you, it is
very long.
But
it's going to be. Osimhen has brought luck to Napoli, and we believe by tomorrow this will be a wrap. All right, Brazilian heavyweight club Flamengo signs Nigerian sensation from loan Olusola Ogundare. This is a little known Nigerian. Flamengo of Brazil has just signed this guy. So I believe he's under 20. The Flying Eagles should be looking at him. The coaches should be looking at this guy. For Flamengo, Brazilian team, to come for a Nigerian. There is something about that.
There is something they've seen in this guy
Yes.
that really needs to, you understand,
Exactly.
for them to exploit.
Exactly. All right, another Nigerian Arsenal only goalkeeper, Arthur Okonkwo, helps his Austrian club, Grassham, to win the Australian Cup. They defeated Rapid Vienna 2-0 to lift the cup. This is a guy that has volunteered that he wants to be in the Super Eagles to keep. He's an Arsenal player, the Arsenal top keeper.
Yeah.
Before he was sent on loan. And he has been doing well. For him to keep a clean sheet in a finals, it shows the guy is beginning to gather more experience.
Of course.
So do you see him as a future in our national team?
Why not? Why won't you see a winning a player that has a winning mentality, that is in a winning team, not to be a future? You understand? And the goalkeeping aspect is still one of the areas we've not actually concluded on Nigeria football.
Ever since Vincent
Eyema left. So I think we need to. A lot of teams in the world, you understand, as we speak now, most national teams, the least of their worry is the goalkeeping department. I'm telling you, if you name the top 10 teams, they already know who their number one is. Both in Africa.
Not of France, because
Hugo
Lloris is out of it.
He's just retired. So now, of course, there's a deputy to Hugo Lloris. The young man for AC Milan is there. You understand?
Donnarumma.
Yeah. Not even Donnarumma, Megan for AC Milan. You understand? So this area is where we need to, because that's the beginning of the backbone of a team. The goalkeeping aspect of it.
Once you don't get it set it up properly the way you should
Yeah.
then.
And the goalkeeper sees everything from a vantage position. So if he's good enough at that early stage, why not give him a trial and then let's make him work? I keep saying it, you understand? Sometimes when you bring people, machinery coaches, because that's what I call them, machineries out to come and take care of your national team, sometimes they don't actually have that culture that we need.
One of the issues people have been trying to sort out is not that in bringing in an expatriate, it's not as if it is bad, but bringing in the right person with the right mentality.
Now, the right person with the right mentality, this is how, in my own opinion, I believe it should work. It should be there to general oversight.
That's what we normally have when we used to have a technical advisor.
Exactly, general
then we have a chief coach.
The chief coach. And
Yes.
the chief coach should be the Nigerian. Then that man is just to give you, and it should cover every aspect of football, both the female national team, because come to think of it, these people don't play tournaments at the same time. So I don't think he has a lot on his table.
This brings me to where people have been clamoring all the while. We pay more attention. NFF pays more attention to Super Eagles more than the other
aspects of the coach.
Yes.
Not knowing that those other areas, like the under-17 we talked about earlier on, and the under-21 of Ladan Bosso, and the under-23 team of the Olympics, you understand? These are the pool
that did not qualify. No. It's not. It's something very, 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 very annoying.
That the Nigerian Olympic team didn't make it to the next Olympic.
And Yusuf Salisu is just walking freely.
So what should be happen? Should it be reprimanded?
It's not funny. How can we not go to
Olympics? I'm telling you, it sounds so funny. A former Olympic gold medalist. Well, that's how bad it is, you understand? So these are the areas where we're talking about having a technical overseer.
Last week,
you understand?
Last week, one of the Usman Abdullahi said, why our coaches remain the way they are, and we don't. It looks as if our Premier League is not functioning well, because a lot of coaches still work with outdated certificate.
And that is
when it means outdated.
That is when the institution of youth NIS. That is where they come in. You understand? That's why I said the Nigerian football setup, in fact, sports in general in this part of the world, needs total overhauling. I speak because I'm a sports person, and I know
So why were
some
we
of
getting
the
it right
bureaucracies.
when we were in the military administration?
Because
why were we getting it right then?
I think he had
And
to.
now
I think he had to
think
do with the administrators then. You understand? Apart from even
they
having
were sports lovers.
apart from being sport lovers, the environment then, and probably maybe the
Because when the likes
level
of Merua was there,
Yeah.
the likes of Jim Wobodo were there,
Yeah.
things were really working.
Well, you say things were working then because they had
They had Patrick Ike, it wasn't an absence of they don't have issues.
Yeah,
there
of
were
course.
issues,
but
the issues were not.
The developments they brought overshadowed
Exactly.
the issues that were militating against their progress.
Exactly.
But in this day and age, what we have is you see the problems overshadowing the improvement of the good of the sport in general. It cut across, you understand? So that you saw Amosu crying, shedding tears when she was being medaled at the last World Championship. It is not, it is not as if she had a lot of water. You understand? That tears was more like amidst all these restrictions and all this, all this deprivation.
A girl coming from
I still came and I delivered. You understand?
Yes.
So if you give this athletes the impetus, we are not spending enough for athletes in Africa, in Nigeria specifically, and it's so bad. I'm telling you, it's
spending is not even the issue.
You understand?
Providing enabling environment.
Like a friend of mine was telling me when they went out of Nigeria for NUGA games, university games, all Africa university games. He said you need to see some training facilities in some African countries. Brother, it will shock you that some of them are better. These are training facilities in universities. Some of them are better than what we have.
And that's why you could see in South Africa they have university leagues.
You can imagine.
Is there in South Africa?
You understand?
They have a university.
They have a league. Very viable university league. So these are the areas where we begin to say that you want to go for NUGA games. Now, the bureaucracy of releasing funds for this athletes' preparation will frustrate even the athletes. And then you expect these people, you understand? You expect these people to go there and win.
Coaches are in this party or this one is in this
and you expect them to go there and win laurels and win medals. It doesn't work like that.
And when they come back from states, we even find it very difficult to still pay the athletes.
I'm telling you.
Up to date.
So that is it. So in Africa, we see athletes as tools, like farm implements. You only take them to the farm when the rainy seasons are there, when you want to go and start planting, and then later on when you want to weed. The moment you harvest, they are out and redundant. So until we begin to know the importance and know that sport is one of the largest means whereby you can arrest youthful restiveness, all these drug abuse, social delinquencies, and if you don't channel these youth with their energy into something meaningful, not just for themselves but for the society and then where they come from at large. You understand? Now we talk about sportsmen and women that have excelled in this world. If it was not that sports, some of these people will probably be gangsters somewhere. Yeah. You understand? Some of them might have been.
Tevez. Tevez would have been a very big gangster.
Gangster, you understand? So Ramirez and the rest of it. So when you begin to talk about the importance of sports and then giving it the prerequisites to survive and to live and be separate from politics. Because that politics and sports, they don't go together. They don't go together. So the Nigerian area where we need to do is to make sure that if it's possible for private partnership,
so
you understand? So then we now have it to change all of these things. So this thing can grow. It will now be a chain, a conveyor belt kind of reaction, whereby this circle finishes another circle. Imagine Nigeria not qualifying for Olympics, Nigeria not qualifying for Nations Cup, Nigeria not qualifying for World Cup.
You see,
and you begin to wonder.
And that's why I keep saying, most of the times we argue about this. It is not about bringing local coaches to take over. You see what they are doing. Some of them do not have the temerity to withstand these foreign-based players. How much is your salary? This guy will buy you off. So that is why most of the time NFF look at this and say, please, we don't want stories. Someone like Pinich, he said, please, I don't want all these bottleneck bureaucracies of stuffs in the football. let me go for a white man. I don't want to, and report to me directly. Westerhoff was the same thing. Pomfrejo was the same thing. And these were people that were given, that brought results. Because most of the time when you begin to do, let's patronize our own, which is right.
Now,
they begin to bring, no, I'm not saying
no, let me ask,
who
pays the foreign manager that you bring?
Who pays the foreign manager? The NFF sorted out.
The NFF?
Yes.
Pays.
And the ministry, yes.
The ministry pays?
Yes.
The fund comes from where?
From sponsors and from the ministry as well.
As it stands right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, so, the one paying?
No, General Rodda was owed how many months' salary? Was it the ineptitude of the FA?
They have no. Let me tell you, this one is a different issue altogether. What we are saying is, bringing in these guys for them to deliver.
Yeah.
It's always the problem. So most of the times they don't give the NFF the benefit of doubt that we must stick with you. That's what we're saying. That's why Usman Abdullah came out last week and said, "Oh guys, some of you, majority of you, are using outdated. They don't go out to improve themselves, to know what is happening. Just because I'm a coach, okay."
And they believe that, come what may, I will definitely have one team to take care of.
Exactly. That's the thing. But I will go back to my state and become wanted there. He's trying to say you guys should move out. Eguavon at a time has to leave. Went to FC20 to understand McLean. He was there. These are personal. There should be some level of personal sacrifice.
Of course, improvement
on your own.
Even if you don't get the appointment from the shores of Nigeria, you can get it elsewhere based on your input.
Paul Aibon, who was the former Warri Wolves coach, he went out to improve himself. There are some of them there that really know what they are doing. Just that the enable environment has not come. Okay, where is Amokachi? These are people that have gone out to go and improve. They all went out to improve themselves, and that's why you're seeing the kind of jobs they are getting. Because when somebody who has a UEFA license A, you know what it means.
Of course, we know what that means.
Some don't listen to them. That's why they can manage outside. But all the remaining, so many of them are in Nigeria. They have not talked to principalities and power. They don't have anywhere to go. But that's why it's a crime for Nigeria not to. It's a crime.
No.
For we not to qualify for, it's a crime. It's a crime.
So, I think the NFF we need to look into these things. You understand, and give minimum requirement for any person that is assuming the position of a coach, be it at any age cadre.
Yeah.
Minimum for under 17 is win it. Minimum under 17.
You go and get even if UEFA license A is too much for you to get B or go and get C. Let them take it up from there. I don't know if you understand.
I understand what you're saying.
So it's very, very important.
No, the job is holistic, and they need to put their acts together.
Everybody needs to wake up.
If Nigeria wants to keep having that mentality that football is our number one sport, then we should be delivering.
Exactly.
Brazil says football is their number one sport,
and that they don't have any other business doing. That's their business.
That's the number one sport. So when the Brazil national team loses out, they see it as if that World Cup is their birthright.
Then another question we should be asking ourselves: why is it that they sign Brazilian players with huge sum of money, but Nigerian players?
No, that has to do with what you're bringing on board.
Hold on. Most of the times, where you're coming from matters. Who are you?
Mm-hmm. What are your antecedents?
What are your antecedents?
Yeah.
These things matters. Your Premier League, where I don't know if you understand. You can't go to Flamengo now and sign a player for £5 million. It's not possible.
Which Nigerian team can afford that?
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Of course, yeah. So
all these things are things we need to check. But the new NFF, I believe Gozo has a vision, which he is working on.
Yeah.
These are things we really need to look into very, very well. You understand? Well, we're still talking sports on ABS. I guess you're enjoying the conversation because we want our Nigerian sports to move to the next level, and begin to compete. There were times when Morocco was not there, but now you could see you can't write Africa without talking about Morocco.
I can't wait for the next Nations Cup.
That is it. So we really need to change the narratives and move to the next level. All right, Javi Garcia time at Leeds United is coming to an end as Leeds conclude plans to bring in Sam Allardyce.
Wow.
Javi
Rescue-
Garcia, a
rescue mission.
Yes, rescue mission, because as it looks like now,
They are most likely
Leeds
to drop.
and Southampton will be relegated as it stands, except something else happens.
A miracle happens. Except maybe they play Chelsea 4 times.
Chelsea is now a referral to. It's a referral to failure, a referral to.
No.
You see, you can't. Let me tell you, Chelsea is one team I like.
Under Abramovich, please.
No. I like under whosoever.
Under
Or
Abramovich.
the only thing now is that the Chelsea is in transition, and that's what's happening. There are times things happens like that. When Arsene Wenger left Arsenal,
This is
Arsenal was struggling.
Arsenal Wenger left Arsenal as a coach. Abramovich, Chelsea had rather had a total overhauling of management, total overhauling, and you expect.
But
that
the truth about it is that even when Abramovich was there is this antecedent about Chelsea.
which is you sack a
Chelsea,
manager, the manager that comes in delivers.
Do you know that in
This
the
guy that
whole world,
lose
in the whole world,
four managers
in the whole
in a
world,
season,
in the whole world,
and we might even have the fifth.
Chelsea has a very bad attitude when it comes to coaching. They don't have that
Consistency.
not consistent. They don't have that
Patience.
patience to believe in what this coach could offer. It's all about result.
Yeah, and
yes,
the result,
it's all about result.
and it has been giving them results. But this time around,
now
four
somebody has
coaches.
decided to have that patience.
No, he has. Where is the patience? 4 coaches in a season. Where is the patience?
So
There's no patience in that.
Some days it's like that.
No, these days
Maybe
too much.
people are going to bring Ancelotti after this, because those are the rescue mission coaches. When they comes in, he will change.
Ancelotti is a winner everywhere he goes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You understand?
Those are
But
people
I don't think he will want to come into this Chelsea team right now and salvage
he
anything.
He went to Real Madrid to change things and stuff. Or you people can even bring in Sam Allardyce as lead.
No problem. I can see because you're happy now.
But this is one of the most
winning.
successful coaches in
No, he is.
Yeah, that's
He
it.
is.
Like whenever clubs want any coach that will rescue, they will always bring in Sam Allardyce. Yes, to
come and rescue teams. But he has gone down before with a team anyway. So that is the only blemish he has on his record. So let's see what he can do.
All right. I think this is where we'll be drawing the curtain close on ABS Sports, where we just dissected some of the happenings. Well, tonight is going to be a very great one for Arsenal fans and Chelsea fans this night. Well, majority of Chelsea people say we are not playing for anything, just to go and watch the game. But likewise, Arsenal don't have anything they're playing for.
Second is already confirmed.
Well,
so.
they already, that's even second. I'm not even saying second. I would just say Champions League is already confirmed.
Okay.
That's just it, because that's all.
That's
as it stands.
minimum requirement.
Yes, that's just it. And that's how it's going to be. So you will watch this match and catch the fun and the excitement. And this is how we'll close down here today on ABS Sports. My name is Lekwe Daniel. Ajolo Chubu.
Yeah.
Thanks for being part
It's
of
always a pleasure.
Sports today. Bye for now.